Good afternoon and welcome to this week's Time Out. I read something this week that struck a note with me. It said affliction is often the black horse that brings people to Jesus. I thought about it, and the more I thought about it, the more I began to believe it is true. Not necessarily profound, but true. There are times that only affliction will bring someone to Jesus or back to Jesus. In John chapter 4, verses 46 and 47, it says this: Once more he visited Cana in Galilee, where he had turned water into wine. And there was a certain royal official whose son lay sick at Capernaum. When this man had heard that Jesus had arrived in Galilee from Judea, he went to him and begged him to come and heal his son, who was close to death. This man most likely had heard about the miracle of the turning the water into wine. He was from Cana in Galilee. I don't know if he was at the wedding, but he had heard about the miracle. He was probably by now had heard about the other miracles that Jesus has been performing, and now he hears that Jesus is back in town. He's desperate, and he's afraid. The affliction of his son drives him into the presence of Jesus. This man does not know that Jesus has come to die for the sins of the world. All he knows is one thing: his son is dying, and there's a possibility if he could just get Jesus to come to his house, his son will be healed. He doesn't have a lot of great faith, but he has a little faith. With that little faith, he comes to Jesus. How much faith do you have this morning? You may not have faith that can move mountains, but you don't need it. Why? Because God probably has not called you to move mountains. There is what I would call a hidden scripture in Psalm 147. I call it hidden because it's not one of those scriptures that is on everyone's tongue or on their mind. It is sort of tucked in under the covers, but when thought about, it's packed with truth, and we need to uncover it. Psalm 147, verse 9 says this: He provides food for the cattle and for the young ravens when they call. You know, I wasn't aware that ravens could cry out to God. They could call out to him. Were you? And what is it that they're crying out to God for? To move mountains? To heal other sick ravens? To raise the dead? Nah, it's pretty obvious that that's not what they're calling out for, and they're not going to have that kind of faith. In fact, I don't think even some people who say that there is no God have as much faith as the ravens have. So what can they call out to God for? Worms. And the implication of the scripture is that the Lord answers their call. They do not need great faith, only a knowledge that he is there. And that is what this man had, only a knowledge that Jesus was there. No great faith, just the knowledge that Jesus was there and a willingness to cry out to him for his son. You know, sometimes that's all the faith we need, just to know that Jesus is there and a willingness to trust in his faithfulness. What are you willing to cry out to Jesus for this week? Who are you willing to cry out to Jesus for this week? You don't need great faith to move mountains. God is not calling you to do that. You just need to know that he's there. God is waiting for you to come to him, to bring your cares before him, and just trust that he will answer, even the answer is differently than you expected. God bless you and have a great week.